I'll be going for a whole guide from start to finish on how to expand your collection or start one from scratch. Let's dive into it. Before we get started, guys, Happy New Year. Hope you all have a fantastic 2023, and let's get into it, shall we? So what I do first things first is the most important thing, which is research. I can't express it enough. Research is so important. Whether or not that's collecting sealed product or single cards, you've got to make sure that you do your research first. That is the key part to get started. You want to know what sets you're collecting, what cards you want to get, what are the prices, where can you get it from. That's the first thing I do. So where do I look for my researches? One of the places I take a look at is TCG Player. It is a fantastic website with amazing graphs and charts of all the information that you need to find out about different Pokemon cards or sealed products. It shows graphs from 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or even a year to give you an idea of what the average market price is of various different products between single cards and sealed products. And it is just a fantastic website, especially for people over in the US, but I also use it to give us an idea of what it's like also in the UK. Another place I use is eBay. You can't go wrong with eBay. eBay is in fact one of the most used places to pick up single cards and sealed products. In fact, I pick up a lot of my stuff from eBay. You can get some pretty good deals over on eBay. It is a fantastic way of doing it. eBay, wherever you are, is very good, but you've got to make sure that you get it from a trusted seller. That is one of the most important things. Another place I take a look at is pokejaceinfo. This is a fantastic website where it shows different prices, whether it's TCG Player, sometimes even eBay, and also Card Market. It is a fantastic place. Get all the information you need, and it also shows graded prices of cards. That's what's really key. You have sealed product on there and cards, and it also does Japanese cards, which is fantastic. A lot of places don't show you the market value of Japanese cards, and it is really useful because there's some Japanese cards out there which are really awesome and are worth a ton of money, but people just don't really know about it. And finally, over in the EU, I also use Card Market. Card Market is very similar to TCG Player, where you basically see a chart and the average price of various different products, and also a bunch of sellers who are selling that product that you can pick up as well. I've been using Card Market for years. It is a fantastic website for single cards and sealed products, so make sure to go and check that out if you're EU based or even in the UK. Now that the research is done, you have an idea of what you want to buy, you have an idea of the different sets, the different cards that you want. Next is to put aside a budget. Now, budget is super important. Now, different people have different budgets each and every month. Me, personally, I like to set aside £100, so just slightly over $100 each month to pick up a bunch of different products. Now, your budget could be lower than that, your budget could be higher than that. But if you do the research and you find out exactly what you want and what the average price is and a decent price is for these products, then you can fit within your budget. And I always say set a budget, and then you can kind of aim towards that each and every month. You don't have to spend over the budget, you don't have to spend exactly the budget. Sometimes I spend over, sometimes I don't use it at all, sometimes I just don't buy anything, especially with real life stuff getting in the way, of course. But whether or not your budget is little or large, it doesn't really make a difference as long as you're getting small things here and there. If you're on the lower end of a budget, Elite Trainer boxes, collection boxes, and tins are a fantastic way of picking up product. Firstly, I would avoid picking up Pokeball tins, mini tins, and like the check lane single blisters. They're usually not very good. If you can stick to the Elite Trainer boxes, collection boxes, and the tins, they tend to be pretty decent. And if you're on the higher end of the budget, then you could look at specialist ETBs, or you can even look at premium products or even booster boxes themselves, especially if you've got a higher end budget for yourself each and every month. So you've done your research, you've got your budget, you have a choice between cards and sealed product. Sealed product is pretty easy and straightforward. If you collect it, keep it sealed for the long term, and a few years down the line, it will go up in value. Now, different things go up in value at different speeds. Overall, they tend to increase in value, but some things can affect that, such as reprints and the like. So be careful. It's not guaranteed that you're going to make a load of money. Some things can go up in value over time. Best to spread out what you want to pick up rather than focus just on one thing. If you're in the single card route, one thing I would highly suggest is make sure the condition of the card is key. Make sure it's got nice centering, good condition, no marks, no scuffs, no damaging, no scratches on the card, because at the end of the day, if you do want to get it graded or you want to collect it for value, then you want to make sure it's in a really good condition, because that really does affect the overall value and the quality of the card. If it's in a good state, then that means you can get it graded, and if you do send off to get it graded, then you can get a decent return on your card. If it comes back as a high grade, a 9 and a 10 is usually what you want to aim for. 10, of course, is fantastic, and if you do get a 10 in a bunch of grading companies, then those cards can be worth a lot of money. If you do want to go down that route, speaking of grading companies, there's 4 grading companies which I tend to look at if I'm going to send my cards off to get graded. Obviously, there is a ton others, The ones I tend to look at is PSA, kind of like the gold standard. That's usually the one that a lot of people go for. Usually like the biggest universal one that's kind of known throughout the Pokemon community of really good. Now the prices have dropped, so it's pretty good. The turnaround is pretty long and the prices have been dropping, so it's a little bit cheaper to send your cards out to get graded. If you're not in a hurry, that is a good place to go. And overall, if you get a good grade, then you're doing pretty well. Next we have Beckett. Now I actually quite like Beckett. It's really hard to get a 10 with Beckett, and if you do, it really increases the value of certain cards. But again, it is quite tough to get a 10. But it is a really good grading company, again based in the US. Next we have CGC. I know that a lot of people like using CGC. Again, similar to Beckett, it's really hard to get a 10, but if you do get a 10, it is worth a ton of money regardless of what cards you go for, really. But yeah, definitely a great company to go for, and you know, pretty good if you get a 10. And then finally we have Ace Grading, which is over here in the UK. I've graded with these quite a few times. For me, they don't have the highest amount of value when it comes to a 10, but if you do have a card that's really special to you and you want a really cool label and keep in your collection, not necessarily sell it, then Ace Grading is a fantastic grading company to go for right here in the UK. So you've done your research, you have your budget, you've picked up your sealed product or your cards, and if you did pick up your cards, you send them to get graded, you've got them returned, and now you're thinking, okay, that's pretty cool. Now what? Well, you can expand on what you've already picked up. I like to diversify what I pick up, and I do that in a different set. So I like to collect at least one booster box of every single set in the Sword and Shield era, and then I'm going back into the Sun and Moon era to do the same, and I'll be doing the same in Scarlet and Violet moving forward. Personally, I don't tend to go for Elite Trainer boxes or collection boxes, mainly because of the size. They are quite large and difficult to store. That's why I tend to go for booster boxes, as I don't have a lot of storage room, so I like to keep things quite compact. That's why I tend to go for booster boxes over things like ETBs or collection boxes. One final thing I will say is 2023 is looking to be a very good year for Pokemon. It's starting off strong with some fantastic sets releasing. 2022 was a fantastic year with some great products that were released, especially the Trainer Gallery sets. They have done incredibly well, and that Charizard Ultra Premium Collection box. So any of those products are very good. One of the biggest advice I would say right now is collect what you like and don't FOMO. Don't get the fear of missing out. Because Pokemon tend to reprint a lot of these products, and especially over a long period of time, so don't feel like you're going to miss out. A lot of people have spent a lot of money, more than they should, on a lot of products just because they think that it's going to run out, and in actual fact it gets reprinted a couple of months down the line and restocked, and it drops in price. And it feels kind of bad. Guys, hope you found this video really helpful, whether or not you're starting your collection or you're expanding on your current collection. If you want to know what booster boxes to collect, make sure to click on this video right here. And if you want to know what's the good ETBs to collect, make sure to click on this video here. And if you want to watch more Pokemon content just like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys all so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you all in the next one.